I've
And
never
also,
planned anything in my whole life. I've never planned. I don't know what I'm doing next weekend, so forget planning
okay,
ahead. My work is done. I had to choose the
okay,
project. I had to do my best. Now everything,
okay.
nothing is in my hands anymore.
Hello everyone, welcome to PeepingMoon.com. I'm Rashita Sahani, and I'm super pleased to be chatting with Konkona Sen Sharma, who's all set to bring in a very important story with Mumbai Diaries 2611. Hi Konkona, how have you been?
Hi, Rashika. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good too. Konkana, I watched the trailer, and whatever I've seen until now, this is an angle of 2611 that has not been showcased before. The doctors and the medical staff and the field workers, everyone. So you tell me, was it challenging to play a role like this one, considering, the subject is only 2611? Now we have all lived through it, and some people have a very traumatized sort of feeling attached to it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a difficult and unusual thing, at least for me to play. I mean, I've never played a doctor. I've never done a web series. We've all lived through 2611. I was not in town at the time, but in subsequently one has lived through those experiences. One has spoken to other people who have been through those experiences. But I had never seen it from the point of view of the medical community.
Okay.
I had never seen it because our show is actually set in a government hospital.
Yeah.
Because the terrorists had entered, I think, Kama Hospital, and they were there for a few
Correct.
hours or
Yeah.
something like that. So, I mean, and also thanks to COVID, I think there has been a newfound appreciation for our frontline workers and, the first responders in these situations and what all they have to go through and how tough it is for them. Because, I mean, anyway, their lives are tough in the sense the job is a very tough job. They have their own
Yeah.
personal lives as well. They're not machines. They have to work in a government hospital, which is, which has its own challenges. And plus, then you have an unprecedented event like this, like 2611, which we fictionalized and we've used that as a
Yeah.
backdrop. But these are nurses and doctors. They're not trained. They're trained to save lives. They're not trained to kind of deal with this kind of a emergency, this kind of a traumatic event.
Correct. Definitely. And were you able to emotionally detach yourself from the character or the show? Because, of course, I'm sure it must have been an emotionally challenging one for you personally.
I think so, because I've been acting for 2 decades. I've been acting for,
Yeah.
and I've done a lot of very kind of intense roles and intense films also. So
Correct.
in that sense, I think that I was able to. I mean, of course, it brought back memories. It was surreal, being inside that hospital set with, then you had police officers, the media people, the terrorists, and explosions, and
Yeah.
some action sequence. And I mean, it's not something that I'm also very used to, but so it was, of course, challenging and difficult in that sense. But it's, I mean, by and large, I would say that I'm used to. I am able to kind of emotionally separate and not bring my work home. I think that a part of it always remains with you somewhere, but that's
Okay.
almost an intangible thing which you can't really,
I know.
you don't know how or where that's going to come out or how it affects you. You don't always know then.
Yeah. Agreed. And what about the research work? Did you get a chance to meet any real life doctor who was present there at that situation?
What we did is because we're all playing medical staff, so
Yeah.
and all of us are actors, none of us are doctors. So Nikhil and his team had organized a wonderful medical workshop for us so that we could, do our
Okay.
work in a convincing way. So they had organized this medical workshop, which was helmed by Dr. Sheikh, who was a doctor
Okay.
who was actually present,
Oh,
at that
okay.
time over there. So we got his perspective, and he actually trained us with, little things like doing sutures, handling the equipment with the medical jargon and, telling us his stories. So that was a very useful thing.
Perfect. And when making something or being a part of something like this subject, one has to be very sensitive as well, because a lot of people are going to see it who have witnessed it firsthand. So, how sensitively has this show while making it has been handled?
I think it has been handled sensitively. I mean, when Nikhil Advani, who I'd known for some time, he approached me, I knew, I mean, I had faith in his sensibilities, and I knew that he would do it in a manner that was sensitive and respectful and, depicted in a dignified way. That I
Okay.
knew would happen. I have not seen the final series, of course, but, these are things that Amazon is aware of. These are things that the makers are aware of. None of the actors want to participate in something that is disrespectful either.
Of course.
Having said that, nowadays we have become, I don't know, in our country, at the drop of a hat, people are taking offense and filing FIR. So you never know. That is very hard to do. But I don't think we have at all. In fact, if anything, I feel now post-COVID, not post-COVID, but because we've been through COVID, I think there's a newfound appreciation for our first responders. And this is really a
Correct.
tribute to our frontline workers.
Definitely agree. And there have been, I was actually reading before this interview, there have been almost 10 to 12 shows, films, documentaries made on 2611. But as I mentioned before, none of them have covered the doctor and the medical staff angle. Despite your show bringing in a new angle, do you think it will be able to find in the right audiences?
I hope so. I hope so. I think, that's not something I ever really think about in advance.
Okay.
Because that's not in our control. And also, I'm used to doing so many different kinds of films. I've done 50 films, it's only people have watched maybe 20. So it's, you never know. And I think that, I mean, it's something that's really appealing to me. This is the first medical drama we have done. It's my
Yeah.
first web series. I've never done a web series before. It's on a very accessible platform, across the world. I think it's very engaging. We are very proud of the show. I hope that people like it.
Okay. And these days when any actor's making his or her digital web debut, there's, I think, a lot of thought that goes into it. So did it naturally happen, or were there discussions, or you wanted to do a particular show?
No, I actually had got some offers for some web series. I had not really connected with any material so far.
Okay.
I wanted to do, if I thought, I wanted to do a show that I would not mind watching, that I would also like to watch. So with this one, what happened when Nikhil sent me the script first, he's such a big, fat, thick script because it's
Okay.
8 long episodes, so it's,
Yeah.
3-4 times the length of a feature film script, right? But I found it to be such a page turner that, I was like, oh my God, because, there are events which are unfolding in real time. There's a timestamp
Yeah.
on it. So it really plays out like a thriller. So it's very engaging. I found the material very engaging. And I thought that at a script level, if it's so engaging, then once, we view the final product with all the elements in place, whether it's the music, the VFX, the sound effects, whatever, then I really felt that it would be very engaging. And I hope it is.
Okay. I hope the same. And your choices, Konkana, it always has been out of the box, if I may say so, because from page 3 to I watched Geely Kuchin, Ajib Dastas. It was an incredible role that you played in it. So you're most welcome. So you tell me, how do you think your choices have evolved ever since you have now completed 20 years? So yeah.
I don't know, still feel very much like the same person. It's not like my values have really changed or that I've become a different person or anything. I feel the same person I was since I was 9 years old, honestly. I think that's my core being. I don't think my values have changed. I don't think I've really changed as a person. Maybe I've become a little more confident than before. I've definitely become a lot more grateful because when I started off my career, I never wanted to be an actor. I didn't really care. I thought, "Theek hai, dekhte hain, nahi to I'll get another job." So I had that kind of an attitude, which I don't have anymore. I mean, now that I think I'm older, somewhere middle of my career, I think I'm grateful for all that I have had a chance to do, for all that I've gotten.
Okay, great. And there is also this certain credibility that's attached to your name, so how do you take it as?
People seem to think I have a certain credibility. That's great. I don't know that I am. I don't know if
Okay.
I don't know. It remains to be seen. I'm not
Okay.
really what I don't think I'm really what my characters have been like or what I seem to be on screen. I don't think I'm like that.
Okay. And now that, of course, you're making your web debut, how do you plan? Do you plan on balancing between films and web shows or films or, projects?
I don't know. I don't have any plans. We'll see how it goes. I have no idea. Let's see how people like this, what happens, what offers
Okay.
I get. I may not get nice offers. Who knows?
Okay,
I
great.
never
And
have
also,
planned anything in my whole life. I don't know what I'm doing next weekend, so forget planning
okay.
ahead.
Okay. And is there, despite all of that, is there a certain expectation that is attached to the show, or are you just going to, go with the
I'm not
flow?
thinking about all that. I'm not thinking. My work is done. I had to choose the
Okay.
project. I had to do my best. Now
Okay.
nothing is in my hands anymore.
Okay. And you have also been behind the cameras, you have directed also. So is direction also in, your plans in the future?
Let's see. Let's see. I don't know. As I said, there aren't any plans. Because, what's the point? Uh, I think that I've been lucky of late to have gotten some nice roles.
Hmm.
So if I continue to get nice roles, I mean, I am primarily an actor. I've been an actor for many
Yeah.
years. I've just directed the one feature. So I think unless I'm really dying to tell a particular story or something, I have a 10-year-old son. I have
Yeah.
now, some interesting projects. So I think that I'm fairly busy with that. If I find that there's a story that I'm dying to tell, or then maybe I will.
Okay. So I just want to know, while you were shooting for it, how was it the scene on set? Because as you mentioned before, there were explosions and there were a lot of things that you have not experienced before. How did you feel being there on set?
Uh, I mean, I may have mentioned this earlier, but it was quite challenging in terms of some of the action sequences that were there. Not very much, but like a lot for me. So we were unrecognizable, because and maybe now when if the series airs, we'll post some of those BTS pictures or all of us
Yeah.
like unrecognizable, covered in dust and blood and things like that. So that was quite an unusual experience for me because I have not really done a lot of work like that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a bit of a
okay, great.
thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Konkana. All the very best. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.